A headline came out of India.
हम सोने के गहने नहीं खरीदेंगे, सोना नहीं खरीदेंगे.
The Prime Minister asked his own people to stop buying gold. And the response? Gold sales rose 15 to 20% the following week. So what is really going on here? And what they reveal isn't just about gold. It was about a country that doesn't trust anyone and never will. The problem wasn't that people didn't hear him. The problem was what he was asking them to give up. Indian households own 25,000 tons of gold, 3 times America's entire official gold reserve, $2.4 trillion in homes around necks, and every attempt to move it has failed. The question is why no one ever can. The first answer was history. In India, gold is not a purchase, it is an inheritance, a habit built over thousands of years. Before British rule, India produced nearly a quarter of the world's economic output. Then the British came, and for nearly 2 centuries, wealth moved in one direction, toward London, through taxes, unequal trade, direct extraction. When Queen Elizabeth II died in 2022, people around the world noticed one jewel, the Kohinoor, taken in 1849 from a king who was 10 years old. India asked for it back. The answer was no. The Kohinoor isn't just a diamond. It's a symbol of something much deeper, a country that watched its wealth leave once and decided it would never let that happen again. But history was only the first piece, because this goes somewhere most economic analysis doesn't go: faith. In Hinduism, there is a goddess named Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth, prosperity, fortune, and she is tied to gold. One of the most important days is called Dhanteras, the beginning of Diwali. Millions of people buy gold on that day, not because the price is right, because tradition says buying gold that day brings good fortune. Then there is Akshaya Tritiya, another sacred day. The name means never-ending prosperity. On days like these, Indian jewelry stores sell tens of tons of gold. No marketing campaign on earth creates that kind of demand, because the engine isn't advertising, it is belief. Modi wasn't fighting demand, he was fighting belief, and you can't tax belief. Then gold leaves the temple and becomes the price of belonging. In India, weddings are not just celebrations, they are transfers of wealth. Gold is the gift, the dowry, the inheritance, the financial protection a mother gives her daughter. The World Gold Council says Indian weddings account for roughly half of the country's entire annual gold demand. In a country of 1.4 billion people, India doesn't produce enough gold for what it consumes, so it imports it in dollars. Dollars leave the country, the trade deficit widens. And the numbers got worse. 2022, $35 billion in gold imports. 2023, $45 billion. 2024, $58 billion. 2025, $71.98 billion. And the strangest part? India imported less gold by weight, but paid more than ever because global prices surged. $71 billion leaving the economy, not going to factories, not to hospitals, not to infrastructure, just sitting there in homes. And that's the position Modi was in. The government saw these numbers and tried everything. First, persuasion, gold deposit schemes. The idea was simple. Give us your gold, we pay you interest, the country uses it instead of importing more. The program had to be relaunched more than once. The issue wasn't the interest rate, it was trust. Then came taxes. India raised gold import duties from 6% to 15%. Make it expensive, reduce demand. The result was predictable. Smuggling came back. Reuters reported smuggled gold could exceed 100 tons in 2026 alone. The government closed the front door, people opened a window. And this isn't unique to India. Turkey tried pulling gold into bank accounts during its currency crisis. In 1933, America made it illegal to privately hold gold and forced citizens to hand it in. But India is different. And that's when Modi did something no world leader had done before. He ran out of options and decided to just ask. Narendra Modi, Prime Minister of 1.4 billion people. But why does household gold matter to a prime minister? Because every dollar spent importing gold is one less dollar supporting India's reserves. And when reserves are pressured, the rupee weakens. When the rupee weakens, life gets more expensive. Fuel, food, medicine. He cannot ban it. Political suicide. He cannot keep raising taxes. Smuggling gets worse. He cannot convince families to trust banks. The trust isn't there. So he asked. And that moment says everything about the size of this problem. So did it work? In April 2026, India's gold imports jumped 82%, and the week after Modi spoke, sales rose by 15 to 20% compared to the same month a year earlier. This was never a story about gold. It was a story about trust. A people who watched their wealth taken once and built a system that no government could touch.